I think what I'd like to do as an Australian is to urge people to go to places that you wouldn't necessarily go to. And I think that travel for everybody is a really important thing to understand where you've come from and what you have, and also seeing how other people live. And I think that people should go out and go out of their comfort zone and push boundaries and see things that you wouldn't necessarily see and do things that you wouldn't normally do, because I think that the world's a really big place and there's so much diversity to offer.
Oh, wow.
So this is what we do with the chocolate here. We just grate it and make it into balls. They're called chocolate balls, and it's 100% chocolate. No additive added in this.
Wow.
So yeah, well, the spices, you while you're doing this the chocolate, you would put things like a little bit of cinnamon, spice. There's other type of spices like tonka bean, shapot seed. These are all spices that most of the young people don't know anymore.
Okay.
You pong everything together up, and you make your balls with. So you don't need, you just grate it, steep it in boiling water, sweeten to taste, and you're good to go. It's very quick.
So this morning we had cocoa tea, which was very cool because I've seen cocoa before in supermarkets and I've had hot chocolate before. However,
It's nothing like
yeah,
it. It is
it's-
so different.
yeah, it's 100% different. This comes straight from the plant. Like, Carl had actually made this cocoa, which I think is so neat.
So all these things I'm doing here, this is all stuff that as a little boy growing up here with my mom and my granddad, this is what we drank in the morning for breakfast, or maybe at night before we go to bed.
They've got the perfect soil, the perfect trees, the perfect climate, and Trinidad cocoa is the finest in the world, and we've been so fortunate to experience something in its truest and purest form that most big chocolate companies claim to use.
Then I take this, it's very straightforward, and just throw that in there. I could even probably grate a little bit more. And once it starts to bubble, I just turn the stove off and let it sit for a few minutes, and yeah, nice hot chocolate.
Oh, cool.
I add milk onto it, sugar. Good. And this would last, for, you could just have this in your refrigerator, it lasts for years.
Really?
It doesn't spoil, no. This is even it. Use this cup to dip in and pour it out straight.
Okay.
Or some people doesn't really strain it because it says it's, excuse me honey. Do you see the difference in?
Oh, just the appearance of it. Yeah,
yeah.
you've got those little droplets of oil.
That's right. If you look at it, so you actually drinking something that's
It almost
really,
looks marbled as well, the way
Something
that the
that-
milk
are
and
you done with
everything's
this?
working.
Yeah.
I love this thing, boy. This is my favorite. Forget what you know about chocolate milk, because this doesn't taste like your normal chocolate milk.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
much better, but it's actually called cocoa tea because it's a little thinner than your thing. It's more flavor, but it's not it may not be quite as milky as chocolate milk you know.
Okay, how's that?
It's more like a chocolate tea. It's really delicious. A lot more flavor. And when people usually buy this for the international market, they use ours because it's such good quality, but they tend to thin it down
Yeah, you were saying.
with
the
other
day.
with less superior cocoa from Ghana and places that's cheaper. I'll just have to throw this out of the strainer. Hang on.
And he put his own quirky spin on it, and he used lemongrass.
Yeah.
And it had this, it was so aromatic.
Yeah.
You could taste like cinnamon in there, cocoa. It had this citrus aftertaste, and the texture was really different as well. Like it had this, like cocoa oil on the
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
It was so different. Yeah, oh, it's completely different. It's almost like a sort of a Christmas drink. It's really spicy and
Very, very different from the hot
and it's so different.
Yeah, this is really different.
Is it too
And the
hot to taste?
lemongrass gives it a really good zest to it as well.
There is now electricity. Electricity was not here before, so there would be more communicating amongst each other and storytelling, and I guess parang and storytelling and all that exists in villages in a healthier form when there is no electricity and there is no television. Now electricity is here and television is here, so I don't know how things will change in the next 10 years, but it's still very much alive with the traditions.
The people that I've met while they're living a simple life, they're actually, you know, they've lived in the States, or they've been to another country, like a first world country, and studied, and yet they choose to come back. And I think that that's great that people make these sorts of choices.
Yeah, come back to their roots.
Exactly.